it's one of those situations wherein bad movie, bad series, but great actors, I would say.
So if that's your standard of heroic send-off, then what is a send-off in a sense for you then? Let's move on to The Witcher. It's gonna be a quick one, I would say.
Ah,
So yes, because
very
I
quick one.
definitely forgotten about it. So how do you feel about the heroic send-off, quote unquote, of Henry Cavill?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I like that part, quote unquote, because I do not feel that it is a heroic send off. My feeling for it is more of, oh, how the mighty have fallen, because this was a series that Witcher fans were looking forward to. They were happy that it was Henry Cavill because he is a Witcher fan, and not just a Witcher fan, but a fan of sci-fi and so many other things. And then you start reading about the reasons why he wants to leave, the conflict that he has to deal with, and the way they just ended it, the way that it's going. Sure, I'll admit the last fight scene was fantastic, phenomenal, all right? But then I could feel that people were like, we're done, and personally I'm like, I'm done with this. And sure, if they come out with season 4, I'm pretty sure Glee and myself would probably find a way to review. But the reality is, like, it so much so it feels like it's ending here. And there have been news articles that are saying that reception is so bad they are ending the series indefinitely. So nope, I don't think it's a heroic send off. It's a situation wherein the coach is just shaking his head. You're down 20 points in a basketball game, 2 minutes left on the clock, and he just says, "That's it, guys, stop." And that's how I feel this one was. Stop. All good. All right. What your thoughts,
Yes,
Glee?
definitely agree with you on that. And the problem was because I saw or I read an article before the second half of this season three saying, the producers were very proud, like, oh, we will be giving Henry Cavill a heroic send off. And you just, you've increased my expectations for nothing. So, I mean,
Yep.
don't go about telling the whole world that you're gonna give this guy a heroic send off when in fact it isn't really.
Yep.
So if that's your standard of heroic send off, then what is what is a send off in a sense for you then, Like, yeah.
Yep.
And I have to say as well, the fight scene with who was that character again? The
The lover of one
yeah.
of those sorceresses whose name no longer
Yeah, it's
registers
just
to me
like
because I
so
just don't
it's so
care.
long ago, but I just
Yep.
wanted to comment that actor is quite good in a way because how
Yeah.
he transformed to
Yep.
this very evil character that he is trying to portray, right? And before you don't really see him showing
No, you
this
don't.
type of power, which is he was portraying his character well. And but my husband who has read the books and with the games as well, he was commenting at first that, oh, this is the usually that's like the main antagonist, right? For example, of the Witcher. So this is the main antagonist. It doesn't look like very at first, he doesn't look like very scary or having that much power, but it's just how also the character portrayed himself. So and then he transformed in this episode where he was fighting.
Mm.
So it was really really good. And
It was good.
I've
Yeah.
watched the again, I always watch the documentary or the after show. And
Yep.
they said that this actor was also, I think he was doing his own fight scenes as well, something like that. Like he was also
That's
remarkable
good.
in a
That's good.
sense that he was very into the character as well. So kudos to him.
Kudos to him. Agree completely. He was great in that fight scene. And it's one of those situations wherein bad movie, bad series, but great actors, I would say. And that guy needs to, although the character was technically and the story was forgettable, he deserves to be on other shows. They need to utilize the guy. He's awesome, great, or really great. So yeah, that's just my thought on the matter for overall, I agree with you. It's a disappointment. They hype you, and then suddenly, you see this. It's not good. And there is gonna be a later on this episode. I will share further more on thoughts like that, because the reason why it doesn't hurt as much for me is because this is not the first time as a gamer, this is not the first time I've been hyped and been disappointed, I would say.
Mm, yeah,
All
and then
right.
it's so funny. Just it just came back to me. I asked you before on the previous episode of the first half of The Witcher. Like what is your theory of the send off? And we were kind of like betting on how the story would go. And actually, when I saw that
Yep.
scene, it's like, oh damn, Ray won. Ray won on this bet because they hyped me too much. I blame this because they
Yep.
hyped me too much. I read the article. They said they're gonna do a heroic send off, so I was like, okay, yeah, cool. I will be, anticipating for it. But as you said on the previous
Yep.
episode, that this is Hollywood, they're just gonna make it like it didn't happen. So which is like, because I
No.
was expecting that they will, make his face very unrecognizable so that it can transition to the Hemsworth, but it didn't really happen. I don't
Yep.
know. So yes. Anyway,
Either way, either way, my fellow nerdy fans, both of us are just disappointed with the
yeah.
wit. That's it. And I suppose for me, that's the final nail in the coffin. And unless they do a season 4, which I hope they don't, I don't want to revisit the series
Yeah,
again.
it's a waste of our saliva to talk about it.